high school football, you just never know what you're going to get. Once he tucks it in, it's all about quickness, moves, and speed.
Malcolm Crispin, like he was shot out of a cannon.
Once he breaks the line of scrimmage, you got problems defensively.
Now it's Keyshawn over the right side, showing off his speed.
Harris has had the game of his life here. Give the freshman all the credit in that one, Pat.
They got their money's worth here tonight. What a game here at White Stadium. Hello, everybody, and welcome to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain for Week 4 of the BPS High School football season. As tonight, the South Boston Knights will be facing the Boston Latin Wolfpack. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner, as always, Alan Platt. And Alan, we have two teams sort of in very interesting spots in the season. We have the Boston Latin Wolfpack, who we've seen twice now this season, sitting at 1-2. They're going to start dual county play next week, I believe. So this is their last game sort of against some Boston City League teams, and they really are in search of a win. They've sort of just been up and down all season long.
They really have. They got off to what was a decent start. We had them in the first game of our season. A lot tough, close, 8-point loss to East Boston.
Right.
A game that they were in most of the way. Some mistakes at the end, they get a loss. But you're right. They have their eyes, in the back of their minds on the dual county. That's the league they're in. They have, I think, 5 games after this one here.
That's right.
Leaving Boston and going out. Midwestern Mass, I guess you could call
That's
it.
right.
So Latin has a lot to try to bounce back from. More importantly, I think emotionally, they really want to get back on the field after really getting run over last week.
That's right.
41-8 by a very, very good Latin Academy team.
Yeah, who looks real good here at the start of the season. Latin Academy at 3-0 right now, I believe. Now, meanwhile, for the South Boston Knights, they had their first week of the season was actually last week. They beat Cathedral 8-6 in a really close matchup, really hard-fought game. And one of the players that had the lone touchdown there for the South Boston Knights was John Basavi Muniz. He's one of their top running backs, and he's one player that they're going to be keying on tonight here at White Stadium.
Well, no doubt, he's probably the fastest, one of the fastest players on the South Boston team. And, he's a player who has some moves, and obviously you depend on him the most. Boston Latin will be keying on him. So I think for this game, in terms of South Boston Excel, they've got to figure out some other secondary kind of offense other than just the running.
That's right. We'll see how Alan Anoxie, their quarterback, does tonight. He started for them throughout the entire spring, so he's an important player for the South Boston Knights as well. Meanwhile, for the Boston Latin Wolfpack, we've seen them throw the ball a lot this season. One player who's just been outstanding, who's been a huge playmaker for this Boston Latin Wolfpack team, he's our spotlight player tonight. He's Greg Rosenkrantz, the senior receiver, who's scored touchdowns in a ton of different ways.
Well, Rosenkrantz is one of those players who's pretty much on the field a lot. And last week, everybody had a tough game, but Rosenkrantz hung in there the entire time. He plays both offense and defense and special teams. As a matter of fact, the only touchdown the Latin had was a touchdown by Rosenkrantz on a kickoff return. So I think it's one of those things where, like we said, Boston Latin has some weapons. It's a matter of can their quarterback get the ball to them. Because if they have no problem throwing the ball mid-range, short passes, or deep downfield. And I think they really want to test this sort of youthful South Boston XL passing defense.
That's right. I mean, we saw Rosenkrantz last week with that, kick return for a touchdown. He's certainly a playmaker, 89-yard touchdown run on the kick return. So they just want to get the ball in his hands and get somebody going there.
I think
for the
tonight
Boston
will be
Latin Wolfpack.
much easier than it was against that very good Boston Latin Academy defense.
So we'll see what the Wolfpack can do with Rosenkrantz here tonight. So certainly Rosenkrantz, the player to look out for tonight. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our sideline report from Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and then we'll have an update, and then we're going to have the opening kickoff here from White Stadium in Jamaica Plain right after these messages. Folks, don't go away.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Welcome back to White Stadium here in Jamaica Plain for a matchup in Week 4 of the BPS High School football season as the South Boston Knights are visiting the Boston Latin Wolfpack as you see this coin toss getting ready to go here at White Stadium. And for more on this particular game, we're going to go to our sideline reporter, Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Jesse?
Pat, this South Boston program is one that has struggled historically with keeping its roster numbers up. And at the start of this year, it seemed like it was going to be no different. First practice of the offseason, 7 players showed up. But as the offseason wore on and the regular season drew closer, this co-op of Excel, Burke, and Charlestown High School managed to put together a roster of 42 players just in time to get the game started. That has fifth-year head coach Jermaine Sattywhite excited for the future of his program, and even the opposing coach is pretty happy. As fate would have it, the Boston Latin coach Ray Butler used to coach this South Boston team. And he said the key for his old team, the South Boston Knights, the key for them long term, they have to keep those roster numbers up consistently, year in and year out. I asked Coach Sattywhite, what's the key to keeping those numbers up consistently? He said simply, success. Kids love instant gratification, and Pat, there's no gratification better than winning. Back to you.
Jesse, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, to see that many players on the sideline for South Boston is a new thing. I mean, we've seen them years in the past where they've had less than 20 players, or 20, less than 25. So to see that many players on the opposing sideline there for South Boston, certainly big for this program and a big win to start off the season for South Boston and Jermaine Sattywhite. And again, usually they're slow out of the gate as well. So, it's interesting that Jesse mentioned also, Ray Butler was the head coach for 3 seasons at South Boston, so he's happy to see a lot of players on that side of the field as well. So just a mutual respect between both these football programs. Yeah,
probably, some combination, like you said, Jesse said co-op. I think that the 4 players from Charlestown actually came late.
That's right.
Because Charlestown was on the verge of having a season, but then closed it down. So 4 of their players have been added to the South Boston team, along with players from the Burke who were already assigned over there.
You hate to see different schools have to cancel their football seasons or even programs, but we've seen some co-ops like this throughout the city where, Boston English and New Mission are now linked up where the New Mission kids play basically for Boston English, and that's gone well for the English football program, and now you see South Boston, I don't want to say benefiting from another team canceling their season, but, you get a couple more players in the South Boston program.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
We're set to go here at White Stadium. It's the South Boston Knights in the white jerseys and the blue and red trim. They're going to be kicking off. And the Boston Latin Wolfpack in the purple jerseys and white and gray trim. They will be receiving. Line drive kick there for South Boston. Rolls out of bounds. That'll be a procedure penalty, and I would imagine Boston Latin will want to take it at the 35.
Yeah, you like to have good field position to start out, so that's pretty much an easy one. I want to see how Boston Latin comes out. We mentioned we had the game last week when Latin Academy just ran all over them. And and they had a huge crowd here for Boston Latin. Actually, a huge crowd for both teams, but especially for Latin. So emotionally, like you mentioned earlier, they are getting ready to go into their dual county season, but they still want to get a win, get another win here in Boston.
Boston Latin with their first possession at their own 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. Douglas George flips it out over the left side. That's Matthew Chow with his first reception. Picks up 3 yards on the game.
Omar Baldi in coverage. Like we said in the open, Latin has no problem putting the ball in the air from any spot in the field. And they have plenty of receivers. Chow got that one. They also have Lau, and then we talked earlier about Rosencrantz.
Now on second down for the Wolfpack, second down and 7. It's Douglas George on the quarterback keeper off the option play. He makes his way up to the 44-yard line, picks up 6.
Fake handoff. Nice opening up in the middle. You see George with his 6'3" frame. Good gain. Close to the first down. Be about a 3rd and 1. And the fullback is thrown for a loss. Wow.
Wrapped up in the backfield. Boston Latin's probably going to have to punt the football.
Hey, coming across from the linebacker spot, looked like it was James Buzzell. So
They're the starters for Boston Latin. It's George, Power, Rosenkrantz, Lau, and Chow as the skills position players.
Quarterback George getting the instructions from the sideline. 4th and 2. They're lining up to go for it. He has Power in the backfield, the fullback.
Wouldn't be shocked if they went to the air here on 4th and 2. No, George going to take it himself. He gets past the 45 up to the 46-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, a little misdirection play. Good job. They faked the ball to Power on a sweep, came back in the opposite way. So fake there, and then that allows George to find an opening. Get enough for the first down. Latin staying in this spread offense. 3 wide receivers to his left and 1 up top to his right.
Now we got a timeout here for South Boston.
I think they're a little mixed up on their how they lined up for their coverages. Basically, Latin's putting out their 4 wide receivers.
That's right.
And maybe, like you said, there's only been 1 game so far for South Boston, but they may not be prepared for some of these more exotic formations.
Now, Boston Latin having a tough time running the ball so far this season. They do have a lot of inexperienced offensive linemen. They also have an injured offensive line as well. Will Sahatchian is out tonight after getting injured last week about midway through the Latin Academy game. Coach Butler said he's going to be out a couple of weeks until they have a bye week, about 2 weeks from now. And another offensive lineman, I believe, is out as well. So you're already coming to the season with sort of a banged up, inexperienced offensive line. Then you lose 1 or 2 more offensive linemen, and that creates, some struggles offensively, especially when you try to run the football.
Yeah, and George has a good arm. So having to go to the passing game isn't the worst thing in the world, but you always want to have some kind of a run-pass balance.
Yeah, George can definitely throw the football. Douglas George with 4 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown so far here through the first 3 games of the season. 1st and 10 now for the Wolfpack. It's George now running for his life. He's going to be wrapped up about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
That's some good pressure that time, coming up right at the middle. Jeremiah Herod, big 71, that time going to cross the line of scrimmage well. George got probably the first guy, but Jeremiah took care of him.
Yeah, Coach Sattywhite really likes Jeremiah. He said he's a disruptor inside there as a defensive tackle for the South Boston Knights. 2nd and 12 now for the Latin Wolfpack. George looking down the left sideline, got a wide open Rosenkrantz, but couldn't quite connect with him.
You saw how strong his arm is. A little off target that time, but he was getting some late pressure just as he was trying to throw it. But again, like we said, Latin has no problem throwing the ball deep downfield.
So after the incomplete pass, it'll be 3rd and almost 12 here for the Boston Latin Wolfpack. Once again on the spread, it's Power in the backfield with Douglas George. George looking again, now over the middle. Nice. He's got Rosenkrantz. Rosenkrantz spins forward, and it's right on the sticks.
I think he has enough for the first down. Really good effort, because when he caught the ball, he was at least 5 or 6 yards short of the first down. Made a nice little spinning move while he's going forward. Watch this. See, he'll catch the ball over the middle. He's short right there. But he just spins that last little dive. It's still going to be short, but now it's like a yard, or even less than a yard.
Yeah, 4th and inches now for Boston Latin. George fakes it to Power, takes it himself. Douglas George still on his feet.
Same play.
And then is dragged down right around the 35-yard line. Omar Baldy with the tackle But
Yeah,
a
they ran
9-yard carry there for Georgia to
They ran
first
the
down for the
exact same
Wolfpack.
play. They had the fake to the fullback power, and then George just finds any kind of space to get downfield.
Four minutes gone by here in the opening possession for Boston Latin, as they're now at the South Boston 35-yard line. On first down, George going to tuck it in and run again. Douglas George with a little bit of an opening. Plowing forward is Douglas George up to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he was being gang tackled and still was able to add some more yards. You see George, good athlete, just sort of winding his way through. It seems like South Boston either decides to rush the passer or stay back for the runs. Look at George, second and third effort. George has all 3 first downs for Boston Latin so far with his legs.
Now on first down again from the 25, they give it to Power. Eric Power trying to power his way forward up to about the 22-yard line. It's about a three-yard pickup there on first down. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Boston Latin.
He's been faking the ball to Power most of this series. This time he gets the carry.
Javon Douglas with the tackle there for South Boston.
Back to the spread offense. They had 2 wide receivers to their left and 1 to the right, with a slot receiver too. Again, 4 wide receivers.
Another shotgun against George. Again, going to tuck it in and run. George with a few more yards past the 20-yard line up to the 17.
Well, it's been the Douglas George show this entire first quarter, which is not unusual when you see a team like South Boston. You don't know what to expect from them defensively, so you just try to run your own offense. It's been mostly running, fakes to the fullback Power. Tried a couple of passes, but they've been grinding it out mostly. Power
now
again.
On third down, it's Eric Power straight up the gut. Stays on his feet. I don't know if his knee was down or not. They do mark him down.
Yeah, they called him down, yeah.
But he looked like he sort of
He
rolled
bounced
over the
off
defender.
one of the players, right.
So Eric Power picking up another first down for Boston Latin.
Yeah, with excellent blocking. Well, his knee went down. But, again, Boston Latin's got to be happy with they're mixing their plays up, but they're getting some good runs. And like you said, the offensive line has been a little beat up with some inexperienced kids having to step up. Doing a good job so far. South Boston had another timeout to talk to their defensive players.
Latin now trying to get things square. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Boston Latin Wolfpack from the 10-yard line. George off the fake. Going to be wrapped up in the backfield that time. Loses about 3 yards on the play.
That time he had the linebacker coming up. Brandon Rivera makes the first hit. They see him 45, and then it's finished off. Gregory Williams.
It's actually a correction on the roster for South Boston, as actually number 23, Damian Brown, is actually wearing number 45 tonight.
Oh, it's Damian? Okay.
So I believe that was Damian Brown with the tackle. Sometimes the players like to trade jerseys during the week.
Yeah, a lot.
Now it's George off the fake. Douglas George gets wrapped up inside the 10. Or right at the 10, rather. So just regained that loss back, the 3 yards there. So Boston Latin will be faced with a 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Siobhan Banks, one-on-one with George for that tackle.
Wolfpack obviously in 4-down territory. 3rd and goal here from the 10-yard line. George looking for an opening. And once again, George going to be wrapped up in the backfield. Once again, getting in there is Gregory Williams, getting penetration.
Well, I think earlier Williams and the other tackle were trying to play the run, but now they've realized that Boston Latin is mixing their plays up, almost alternating them. So that time you had Williams in back-to-back plays. Yeah, Williams is a junior.
Yeah, South Boston now it's 3 sacks here on this opening drive.
Well, like you said, 4-down territory, so going for it on 4th down.
4th and goal from right around the 14-yard line. George obviously got to go through the air, trying to escape pressure. Douglas George trying to break some tacklers. Is he short of the goal line? Yes, like he is. He did not get in. He's right around
like
the
one. I was going to say, yeah,
My goodness.
He's as close as you can get.
Heck of an effort there from Douglas George, but he was not able to.
It was actually the right call because South Boston team had their linebackers and the defensive backs all backing up. So George got hit right at the 2-yard line. And even though it was a high hit, it took away his momentum. Didn't allow him to dive into the end zone. But South Boston's really, they're about as backed up as you can be to start your offense.
Yeah, they're in the shadow of their own end zone at that 1-yard line. I believe it was either Angel Vega or Siobhan Banks in there for the touchdown-saving tackle for South Boston. So that drive lasted 8 minutes and 36 seconds. They went 16 plays, but were unable to come away with points. And unfortunately for Boston Latin, this has sort of been their story here early in the season. Here are the starters for the South Boston Knights. That's Anoxi, Basabi Muniz, Douglas, Brown, and Baldy are the skill position players. Now on 1st down for the Knights. They pitch it over the right side. Boston Latin going to pick up a safety. Coming across is the big defensive tackle there for the Wolfpack, Christian LaReach. And he gets in for the safety, so Boston Latin, despite not getting into the end zone offensively, puts South Boston in a tough spot at their own 1-yard line.
Defense scores first.
Latin school.
Yeah, there you see LaReach. He's one of the seniors who Coach Butler is really depending on for the entire season. He plays both ways, plays defensive end, the tackle rather, and also plays offensive lineman. But on that play, read it perfectly. Obviously, they're going to key on 33 because he's their main runner, but just a call that Boston Latin was definitely ready for. When you defeat a blocker up front that easily and then have the speed to run down the running back, you earned your 2 points.
So Latin School picks up the 2 points on the safety. South Boston will also have to perform a free kick. So we'll see what South Boston's able to do here.
They're trying to get their kicking ball out there. The kicker.
Boston Latin
with a different ball.
Certainly have excellent field position here after getting the safety and then this kick, as Ralphie Vo will be performing the kicking duties for the South Boston Knights. Chow and Rosenkrantz back to receive for the Wolfpack. We saw Rosenkrantz with a kick return for a touchdown last week, and he fields it right around the 43-yard line. They fake the end around to Chow. Rosenkrantz trying to find a seam down the sideline, makes his way into South Boston territory right around the 42.
Nice run by Rosenkrantz. Again, the key to a lot of these run backs, he kissed the ball in the air, actually faked the reverse to Matthew Chow. That gave him a little bit of an opening. So they're already past midfield.
So Rosenkrantz puts Boston Latin in great field position here at the South Boston 42-yard line. So the Wolfpack, after getting the safety there on that last South Boston possession. Now looking to drive down the field again. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. They fake the end around to Chow, and it's Douglas George on the keeper up to the 39-yard line.
Again, more of the same. This time, instead of faking to the fullback, he faked to Chow. It was coming in motion. Seems that Latin's seen something in that defensive. It's either the alignment for South Boston or how they're reacting after the snap of the ball. But it's still giving George a lot of carries so far.
2nd and 7 now for the Wolfpack. Handoff to Power, and Power finds an opening. Eric Power over the right side. Past the 20-yard line, inside to about the 17.
Well, when your running back has a lot of room at the line of scrimmage, it's just a matter of how far and how fast he can go. You see a wide open hole there. Nice slant play. Power showing good speed. Has to be run down by the safety and the cornerback.
So first down there for Boston Latin, now at the South Boston 17-yard line. They go with Power once again. No, it's George off the option, and Douglas George somehow did not get tackled and then makes his way up to the 11. So 6-yard gain there for Douglas George.
Well, we've seen him fake to Power most of the night. This time he was able to draw some defense to the middle, get to the outside, but good pursuit in this play by South Boston.
"12 carries and 52 yards now for Douglas George, as it looks like South Boston wants to take another timeout here. 1:30 left to go in the first quarter. Wolfpack doing everything but scoring a touchdown here in the first quarter, driving right down the field again.
Well, they've got to be happy. I mean, it's safe plays because they're pretty much all running. They have a couple of passes, but other than that, Power, I'm just impressed with how he's been able to run the ball and take the hits. I mean, we've seen a lot of gang tackling from South Boston, so it's not like these are easy runs for Power.
That's right.
For George, rather. He's making big plays. He made 3 first down runs on their first drive, and like you said, he was like a half yard short on that last 4th down when they had the chance for a touchdown. So he may just continue this, because whatever they've seen, it's still there. They're getting decent yardage on all those fake to the running back, and George keeps the ball.
Our sideline reporter Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan has an update for us. Jesse, what do you got?
Pat, this Boston Latin squad is coming off a tough defensive outing last week against Latin Academy, where they gave up over 400 yards rushing and 41 total points. I talked to Coach Butler before the game. He said simply he wanted his team to tackle better. And when I asked him who he wants leading the way for that one, he instantly named his 3 senior co-captains, Christian Lariche, Matthew Chow, and Greg Rosencrantz. Pat, first play on defense, and it's Christian Lariche, the senior co-captain, getting the safety and stuffing the run. That's what you want out of your senior co-captains, Pat. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Jesse. And Coach Butler making the call there, as Lariche was the one getting the safety. And now it's Eric Power plowing forward inside the 5-yard line. They mark him down, I think, right at the 5.
Yeah, more of the same. This time Power does get the handoff, and at the 5.
Now 1st and goal. It's Power again with the carry. Eric Power towards the end zone. Did he get in? And they're going to mark him down at the 3-inch line.
He tried to reach the ball over, and it bounced. I think it bounced back. But Boston Latin wants to go no huddle.
2nd and goal now for the Wolfpack. They go with Power again, and Power is in for a Boston Latin touchdown. So after a tough week last week, where Latin only scored on a kick return, it's got to feel good for the Wolfpack offense to finally put one in the end zone.
They've had 2 of the kind of drives that Coach Butler wants to have. Mostly running and then sprinkling a pass here and there if necessary. But the running's been so successful, there's no reason to do anything else.
Eric Power getting the ball out on that drive, and he puts it in for a 1-yard touchdown. 2-minute and 12-second drive there for the Wolfpack. George now looking for the 2-point conversion. Thought about throwing it. Now is going to be wrapped up well short of the goal line. So no 2-point conversion there for Boston Latin. However, they are on top 8-0 thanks to a safety earlier in the quarter. And then Boston Latin driving right down the field off the safety free kick to score the touchdown. Eric Power right at the goal line. So Boston Latin on top 8-0 here with just over a minute left to go in the first quarter.
I know for Power, this is just from last week to this week, this is definitely like night and day, right?
Oh, no question.
You're talking about.
He had nowhere to go last week.
Talking about snow and sunshine. Because it was tough. It was even tough watching it. I mean, you felt bad. They made mistakes. They made some mental mistakes, some physical mistakes, had some turnovers. And that Latin Academy team was just ready for everything.
So now we'll see what South Boston does to respond. You know, their offense almost didn't have a chance.
One play.
They almost just didn't have a chance. I mean, when you're backed up at the 1 yard line, it is so hard to dig out of there. So we'll see if South Boston's offense can really get a fair shot here as they're about to receive. You got Omar Baldy back there to receive for South Boston.
Yeah, South Boston does have some speed.
Ball's fielded right around the 15-yard line for South Boston. And that's John Basabi Muniz on the return as he makes his way past the 25 up to about the 26-yard line.
Yeah, he's the guy they want to get the ball to. Well, like you said, no chance at all in that first. You know, it's great that the defense stopped Latin at the 1, but you know, your offense is mainly a running offense anyway, and Boston Latin knows that. Comes right across the line of scrimmage. Talks about Larish Christian. He's actually the center on offense, and then he plays a defensive lineman. He's the one that got the safety. Big number 75, one of the seniors. Like we said, that Coach Butler really depends on.
Yeah, there's Alan Anoxie, the senior quarterback for South Boston. Started the entire spring season for the Knights. You're on first down, the hand up, straight up the gut. And getting the carry there on first down was Kevin Branch, the big fullback.
You see a little misdirection, a little fake inside. Not much room for Branch.
I think Branch actually might have lost the yard. No gain, actually. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the South Boston Knights. Talked about Anoxie. And
he was a
wide receiver a couple years ago.
So he's a good athlete, good hands.
That's right. I actually asked Coach Sadie White if they were comfortable him throwing the football. They said absolutely. So they have some receivers, too. They'll be out in patterns here throughout this game.
I'm sure there's some plays also where he can roll out and be have the option of a pass or a run. Well, that's the end of the first quarter.
And that's going to do it for the first quarter here at White Stadium. It's the Boston Latin Wolfpack on top of the South Boston Knights. Folks, are going to head to break. When we come back, we'll start the second quarter here on Game of the Week right after these words. Don't go away.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm going to miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain here for Game of the Week. As we have the South Boston Knights trailing the Boston Latin Wolfpack 8-0. Just about ready to start the second quarter here on Game of the Week. South Boston. First offensive possession, they were actually backed up at their 1 yard line after a goal line stand against Boston Latin, and unfortunately gave up a safety. Kicked it back to Boston Latin. Boston Latin drove down the field again. Ran it in at the goal line for a touchdown this time with Eric Power. So now it'll be the South Boston Knights with a little bit better field position. Now 2nd and 10 from their own 26-yard line. So they have some breathing room on this offensive possession. You see in the backfield is Branch, who had that carry for no gain there on first down. Hit off to Branch again. He's trying to get outside to the edge, and Branch is going to be wrapped up in the backfield and then falls to his knee. And now we have a flag on the play.
Looks like something after the play, but I think it was Larish who wrapped him up. Yeah, 75. Yeah. So something happened. Oh, a late hit. I mean, both knees are already down. It's definitely going to help South Boston. I mean, they've tried 2 running plays and both they've been thrown for losses, but the penalty after the play is going to help them. But it shows you how much of a loss that play was going to be.
That's right.
Because even with the penalty, it's still just 7 yards to go. Yeah.
Right, 3rd and 7 now for the South Boston Knights, but much more manageable than a 3rd and 24 or whatever that was going to be. So 3rd and 7 now for South Boston. Kevin Branch alone back in the backfield. And some early movement there on Southie. It looked like actually the whole team had the snap count off.
Yeah, I thought the wingback was going in motion. I guess someone else must have moved also. Yeah. Yeah, you see you have. Yeah,
I think it's actually the right guard who started to flinch.
It's too bad because they had the wingback right next to him going in motion. I guess maybe his movement might have triggered the lineman. But you get a young team, and quite frankly, they're not all that experienced working playing together. So
it'll be 3rd and 12 now for South Boston. Anoxie looking to throw. Now he's going to tuck it in and run. He's got an opening. Alan Anoxie trying to get to the outside. Slips a tackle. Anoxie steps out of bounds right around the 43-yard line. It's going to be a first down for the South Boston Knights.
Runs like a wide receiver. And he took a few seconds to look downfield first before he chucked it in. Nice moves to get out to the sideline. And then he actually added a few more yards on, sort of tiptoeing that line. Got to make them feel good because I tell you, their first quarter was 1 yard offense against giving up 100 yards offense.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you have that safety, then you keep losing yardage here on that down. Obviously, the penalty helps, but
yeah, well, the penalty helps.
Anoxie now on first down after the big run, chucks it down the right sideline. He's got a receiver.
He got it.
It's caught by Baldy. He's going to walk in for a touchdown. 57-yard pass connection.
Don't you say you asked the coach if you're going to let him throw? I guess so, huh?
He wasn't lying. Coach Sally White said he had no problem letting Alan Anoxie throw the football.
Well, Anoxie in 2 plays has brought his team right back into the game. Now they have a chance to tie it up.
Yeah, you can almost erase that safety right now if you get that 2-point conversion.
The whole first quarter. Think about it.
That's true.
On that South Boston sideline, the game didn't start till the second quarter. That is amazing when you think about it. Anoxie just had a nice run, huge run on a 3rd and very long.
So the Knights.
We'll see what they have for the 2-point try.
Once again, they go with Branch as the lone back in the backfield spread formation here for Southie. It's Anoxie going to try to find some opening. Takes it himself, and he's gang tackled by the Wolfpack. So no 2-point conversion there for South Boston. There's a 4-play, 72-yard drive. Here's the replay of that touchdown.
57-yard bomb. Well thrown, nice spiral. Good job pulling it in and then turning right around by Baldy. Like we said earlier, South Boston, they have some speed.
Here's another look at that touchdown.
Obviously, again, a wider view. And you see he was getting some late pressure, but stepped right into the throw. Baldy beat the safety, then had enough speed to outrun everybody.
So Anoxie with the big run and then the touchdown throw, and that last scoring drive. And now South Boston trails by just 2 here with 10:27 left to go in the second quarter.
Now just think of the range of emotions from that South Boston team. Both the kids on the field and the ones on the sideline. Nothing was going right at all. The penalty of all things gave them a chance to get the first down, but then Anoxie still had to make a big play on the 3rd and 12. Then after that, turns around and throws a touchdown bomb.
Yeah, huge swing of emotion there for South Boston. Now we'll see how Boston Latin responds. They dominated the first quarter, but lead by just 2 here in the second. Low squib kick there for South Boston as Chow was able to corral it right around the 31-yard line. Boston Latin almost let that free kick become available.
It looked like there was some miscommunication there. The first player who was very close to it let it bounce right by him. I was a little surprised because they definitely know it's a free kick, but luckily for them, they were able to cover it up. Like you said, yeah, it's important. This drive's important because anytime you dominate a quarter like Latin dominated the first quarter, you expect to be ahead by more than 1 score. Now they're just ahead by 2 points.
Now on first down, they go with power. No, it's George again off the option.
Yeah.
And he makes his way up to the 37-yard line.
I think at this point, Boston Latin is just going to be very stubborn. They're going to keep running the same play until South Boston shows that they can stop it. They had the nose tackle pinned in. Yeah, I mean, George just finds any open space.
Empty backfield here for Boston Latin. Now a man in motion. They fake the end around. It's George again with the carry. Douglas George looking to get to the outside. Gets wrapped up just past the first down marker.
I mean, it's almost getting to a point where coaches for South Boston could tell the guys, listen, let's assume he's going to have the ball at the end of the play, okay? Because he's faked to Lau a couple of times. He's faked to Powell, the fullback, plenty of times.
Wow. 15 carries already here in the first half for Douglas George.
That's a lot for a high school quarterback.
Now on first down for the Wolfpack. The handout to Power again. Yeah. Eric Power gets tripped up.
Yeah, they try to get Power the quick hitter. Again, Power makes the most of when he does get the ball. He's probably had more fakes to him this game, but when he does get it, he makes some yardage.
Now on second down, George whips it down the sideline, and it's caught by Boston Latin.
Well, we talked about Latin throwing the ball. That's Rosenkrantz. Yeah.
Who else? Greg Rosenkrantz with a big catch down the sideline. Boy, George just flipped that out there.
Good job by Rosenkrantz. That was decent coverage. Not a whole lot more that Pena could have done other than maybe turn around, but Rosenkrantz.
Now on first down, it's Power again with the carry. He gets upended right around the 21-yard line.
Back to the running game up the middle with Power. Good tackle by Douglas.
Second down and 6 now for the Boston Latin Wolfpack. And it's Douglas George again off the option. Rumbles down to about the 18-yard line, so just about a 3-yard pickup.
I think he's really having fun enjoying this. All these carries, even though he's getting hit every play, usually by more than a couple of the defenders.
It's going to be about a 3rd and 3.
Coming
out of the injury timeout.
It looks like Herod.
Yeah, Jeremiah Herod.
South Boston.
So Herod, a player that South Boston does not want to lose. We'll take another look at it. You see Herod
he's actually in there in the tackle. Well, you see, I think he bent his right leg back. Sometimes you lose your balance because your body momentum is going forward, but your cleat has already stuck you into the grass. So Yeah, he's coming out without any help, so.
Yeah, sometimes you see those plays, you worry about the torn ligaments in the knee, but it looks like
he's
that's
okay.
not going to be the case. So good to see the big fella getting up off the turf. See if he comes back into the game. Be 3rd and about 3 now for Boston Latin Wolfpack. George, same play basically over the left side off the fake. And George gets drilled out of bounds, but he's going to get another first down.
That fake is still getting the South Boston defense to lean toward the opposite side. Look at all the room he has. He has to get chased down, and finally the safety comes up to knock him out.
Another first down for the Wolfpack. Now at the 14-yard line of South Boston. George going to tuck it in and run again. That time it was a design throw, but he saw an opening. Picks up another big chunk there on first down.
Actually, the passing pocket, the blocking protection created the opening for him. You see him.
Yeah, about a 7-yard pickup there on first down. We'll make that a 6-yard pickup there. So it'll be 2nd down and 4 now for Boston Latin.
Oh,
and now they have the low snap. George just going to pounce on it. Doesn't want to lose the football. And boy, does Boston Latin hate to see that.
Big loss on that one.
You know, you're driving right down the field, picking up good yardage, good steady drive, and you have a play like that.
Yeah, sometimes those snaps come back funny. Not only was it low, but it was also twisting, spinning.
So 3rd and about 15 now for Boston Latin. George. Plenty of running room over the right side. Throws across his body. It's intercepted. Picked off by South Boston. Nice little return, and then being shoved out of bounds with Siobhan Banks after the interception in the end zone.
Yeah, Siobhan was so excited to get that, didn't even think about kneeling down. He was going to run it back.
Almost got it back to the 20, brought it back to about the 17. But boy, Douglas George, that's one of those cardinal sins as a quarterback where you kind of throw
late down the middle. And he's a little off balance also. Because he was really, I think he was stuck between trying to run and pass, but the last second, he did have 2 receivers crossing.
Also, the way he's running the football, he had a lane down that right side.
Exactly. I think he had that in mind, but then he saw his receiver cutting across in the end zone, so tried to sneak it into him. So for the second time, we've seen Boston Latin have deep penetration against South Boston and come away with no touchdown.
We got a timeout here with about 5:49 left to go in the second quarter. Didn't see which team took the timeout.
Well, I'm sure that on this South Boston side, those coaches are trying to tell their players, listen, this is a different game from Cathedral. Even though there's only a 1-score game for each of the teams last week when South Boston won 8-6. But Latin, they see a little hesitation. Now, I think he really wanted to see if his teammate was in fact going to break open. But you're right, it was just a tough judgment.
Yeah, that's a good point by you, though, here with South Boston, where this is, sort of a different battle against Boston Latin this week.
Definitely.
Yeah, none of us saw that Cathedral game. I would imagine it was one of those defensive kind of grinded out games with 8-6. I mean, there's years where Cathedral has had a pretty lethal offense, and not really the case this year for Cathedral. But
you go back a few years, they actually had a number of their 2 sport athletes playing football
That's right.
And they made it to Super Bowl going back, I think, 8-9 years, I'd say.
That's right. Remember Khalil Blair, who I believe was a quarterback and point guard, was a very good football player for Cathedral. They used to put up a lot of points with him. Now on first down, it's Basabi Muniz trying to get to the edge, and he's strung out of bounds right around the 19-yard line. So no gain there on first down. You can see the quickness.
You try to fool the team by going to the short side of the field, but Latin did a good job responding to that. So we got 2 running quarterbacks. Different styles, but they can both be effective.
Yep, both number 6 here tonight. So it'll be second down and 10 now for the South Boston Knights. We'll see if Alan Anoxie can jumpstart this offense once again. Just under 5 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Handoff over the right side. I believe that was Branch again with the carry, but nowhere to go with it.
Yeah, delayed draw play. Trying to catch Boston Latin leaning the wrong way, but that front for Latin's pretty stout.
Third and 10 now for South Boston. Yeah, I believe it was LaReach getting in there. Looked like Vincent O'Byrne also in there for the Wolfpack. South Boston in no hurry here, faced with a 3rd and 10. Coming up on 4 minutes left to go here in the second quarter.
You got Baldy with single coverage on the opposite side of the field. He caught that 57-yard touchdown pass earlier. It's going to be a delayed game here. You don't need that.
I was going to say,
they ran 3rd and 15 now.
They ran the previous play with just under 5 minutes left to go. Now we're under 4 minutes left to go, so it did seem to take a while for them to break their huddle. Usually in high school football, especially without a play clock, they sort of give a team a few seconds of kind of leeway.
Right.
You know, if they're about to hike it with,
I think you usually see that, but I think you're right.
That
time they were way over.
Yeah. So after the 5-yard penalty, 3rd down and 15 now for the South Boston Knights from their own 13-yard line. Anoxie again looking to go to the air. Again, chucking it deep down the right side. Baldy trying to make the adjustment, but couldn't get to the football.
He made 2 adjustments, you're right. He made 2, he spinned, and then at the end he tried to make a one-handed catch. But, yeah, the ball was actually to the side, more in the middle of the field. He was leaning out to the sideline, but it was Latin staying with this single coverage. I think we're going to see South Boston go to Baldy a lot in the second half.
And certainly one of those players who, you can stretch the defense a little bit. That might open things up front. But the Knights now are going to have to punt the football here with 3:30 left to go in the second quarter. Back to kick for South Boston is James Buzel. Low snap there for Buzel. Somehow tried to get it off. Punt was blocked, and now South Boston is trying to jump on it. Goes through the end zone. Another safety here for Boston Latin. Another South Boston player down after that play. It must have been Buzel.
Yeah. He was trying to recover the ball, or at least prevent, he's trying to prevent Latin from pouncing on it. It would have been a touchdown. You see it's blocked. Now he's hustling back, he's trying to recover it, actually.
Smart play by whoever from South Boston, just pushed it out of bounds. Buzel still down.
Looked like his left leg. Wow.
Somebody might have fallen on his knee. Get another look at it. He was sort of to the left of the screen towards the end of this play. Ooh, gets stepped on right there.
Teammate gets stepped on.
It was Kevin Branch who was the one who knocked it back for a safety. Actually, the right play there by Branch to prevent the touchdown. And Buzel's up. I think he might have just gotten stepped on. I don't want to say just, because anytime he gets stepped on down on the turf with a cleat,
it's bad at first, and then it's bad at first. You wait a minute, then you see how bad it is.
Yeah.
So he's want to walk. He's purposely walking off on his own steam so he can get back in the game.
That's right.
He wants to play some more.
So good to see Buzel up after that last play there. But once again, South Boston, is going to have to kick the football back to Boston Latin after the Wolfpack again earn a safety there on the low snap from South Boston when they attempted a punt there on 4th down.
Yeah, it was a really weird snap. Not only was it low, but it was spinning away from the punter.
Yeah.
It was. I think that he might have actually hit his own leg when he was snapping the ball.
So last time South Boston kicked the football after a safety, Greg Rosenkrantz of Boston Latin brought the football all the way back to the 42-yard line of South Boston. As we mentioned, he had a kick return for a touchdown last week against Latin Academy. Matthew Chow back there to receive as well for Boston Latin. No slouches. He's been a good receiver for this Latin football team for the first 3 weeks of the season. So 2 dangerous receivers back there for the Wolfpack. And that's fielded right around the 49-yard line. That's Brandon Lau on the return. Brandon Lau inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line.
Oh, that guy. Lau using his speed. Nice one quick cut. He actually ran past 3 of the coverage guys.
23-yard return there for Brandon Lau. So Boston Latin takes over at the Southie 28-yard line with a 4-point lead here with 3:18 left to go in the second quarter. Douglas George looking to the air, down the right side. Nice fade ball to Rosenkrantz for a touchdown. Beautiful catch and throw for Boston Latin.
Well, we talked about the ill-advised pass on the interception. That was a beautiful pass. Talk about dropping in the bucket. And Rosenkrantz, you mentioned him before. Matter of fact, you were talking about him all last week. You got to get the ball to him somehow.
The playmaker. Heck of a throw and heck of a catch there for Boston Latin. Right on the money as they score their second touchdown of the game. Wolfpack will now look for the 2-point conversion.
Can't throw that one any better. I mean, Rosenkrantz made it easy by beating the cornerback, but at the same time, you still got to get it out there.
Yeah, George put it right on him. George now trying for the 2-point conversion. They give to Power, and Eric Powers stopped right in his tracks. Let's get another look at the touchdown here.
Nice protection.
Nice job, too, there by George. Threw it to the outside. That's how coaches always want to throw that ball.
Rosenkrantz gave him enough room to the sidelines to put it up like that. You see a wide view, and, cornerback was just straight out beaten. Knocks the quarterback and who plays corner on defense.
So Boston Latin does not get the 2-point conversion, but they now lead by 10 here with 3:10 left to go in the second quarter after the 28-yard touchdown connection from quarterback Douglas George to receiver Greg Rosenkrantz. Ball fielded by South Boston. Nice little return here for the Knights. As it's Siobhan Banks up to the 38.
So now they have 3 minutes before halftime.
We've seen South Boston go to the air for their first touchdown.
I was just going to say, both teams can throw it, that's for sure.
They have receivers who get down the field. So far, this is the best field position of the game so far for the South Boston Knights. We'll see what they can do with it here with 3:03 left to go before halftime. Anoxie going to roll to his right. Thought about a throw. Now he's going to tuck it in and run. Alan Anoxie gets shoved out of bounds right around the 43-yard line. So about a 4-yard gain. Make that a 5-yard gain on first down.
Roll out, pass run option. That's what we were thinking we were going to see a lot of. Actually, Larice knocked down the would-be blocker. Allowed his quarterback to get the 5-yard gain.
Larice has had a nice game so far here for Boston Latin.
Anytime you're calling someone's name a lot on both sides of the field, you know he's playing. He's a center on offense, like I said before, and then like a defensive tackle on defense.
Second down and 5 now for South Boston. Anoxie over the left side. Slipped some tacklers, but then is wrapped up at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, short gain.
Just a 3-yard pickup there on second down.
Yeah, I don't know how he slid by those. It looked like Latin had him totally pinned in. Watch the left of your screen. You'll see a lot of purple jerseys, but somehow just sort of sideways. It just slid sideways and got a few yards.
And Garrett Quinn wrapping him up at the 45. So it'll be 3rd and 3 now for South Boston. They give it to Branch over the right side, and Branch gets wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Really no gain on the play. So now South Boston will be faced with a 4th and 3 from the 45-yard line.
Yeah, there was no gain. Wow, it looked like he might have got something, but again, the handoff was behind the line of scrimmage, so he had to make up that yardage first.
They're also under a minute left to go here in the second quarter, so if South Boston wants to get anything going, they're going to have to hurry it up a little bit here. But first things first, got to get a first down if they're going to go for it here on 4th down, which they are. Anoxie on the keeper. Anoxie finds an opening, makes his way past midfield. And they actually mark him down right at the 50-yard line. So first down for Anoxie. Clock should stop on a first down. Although with the new Federation rules, that might be different. Under 30 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Anoxie chucking it down the right side. Baldy makes the adjustment. Baldy still on his feet as he makes the catch right around the 15-yard line. So 35-yard connection. That ball was well behind both the receiver and the defensive back.
Baldy made an excellent job. Did an excellent job, like you said, making an adjustment, but looks like it's going to come back. Yeah, holding on South Boston. But again, these teams, both teams have no problem throwing the ball deep downfield.
It's going to be 1st and 20 now for the South Boston Knights.
Yeah, but how's it?
10 seconds left to go before halftime. Anoxie trying to chuck it deep again to Baldy. Baldy makes the catch down the sideline, but Boston Latin's going to wrap him up here at the end of the half. So that's going to do it for the first half here at White Stadium. We'll get another look at this last heave from Anoxie. Certainly going to pad his stats, but South Boston unable to.
I'd say his Baldy is something. That's the second one he's caught in between double coverage.
No question. So Baldy having a good first half there for the South Boston Knights, but it's been the Boston Latin Wolfpack who have been a little more successful running their offense here at halftime.
Well, the running of the quarterback's been the whole game for Boston Latin. That's changed everything. It's made South Boston try to adjust their defense. They move around. Then
Right.
you get hit by power from the fullback up the middle.
Right.
The quarterback, George, who's doing most of the running, still can step back and throw passes. We saw that beautiful touchdown pass to Rosencrantz. So the fact that the Wolfpack from Boston Latin can mix up things and have success, keeping the South Boston defense really off balance.
No question. Then for South Boston, you know, they did score a touchdown with that deep pass to Baldy here in the first half. But with the way that Boston Latin Wolfpack have been controlling the clock, South Boston hasn't had a lot of possessions or time of possession. Our sideline reporter, Jesse Mayfield Sheehan, is now down on the field with the head coach of the South Boston Knights, Jermaine Sattywhite. So, Jesse, take it away.
Pat, I'm here with South Boston head coach Jermaine Sattywhite. Coach, plenty of ups and plenty of downs in that first half. First, let's talk about the defense. You let up 2 touchdowns, but you also got 2 big red zone stands. What did you think of your defensive effort in the first half there?
It's not good enough. We got to play more physical, more discipline, and harder.
Now on the offensive side, we saw the potential for this offense to explode. Those big passes from Allen to Omar down the sideline, including the one for the touchdown. What does your team need to do to get more of those big plays, more of those positive yards to get back in this game on the scoreboard?
Well, we got to run the play called, hit our holes. Line's going to block for us. I mean, it's simple football.
What's the overall message to the team going into the half?
Finish.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Good luck in the
Thank
second
you.
half. Pat, back to you.
Jesse, thanks so much. So Coach Sattywhite certainly is excited to get into the locker room here at the half because they certainly want to make some adjustments and come out with a plan. The thing is, the South Boston Knights certainly haven't played great here in the first half. They're only down 10, and it's not
Good
one of those.
effort. Like I said, they've been a little on their heels defensively because the way that Boston Latin's been able to mix their plays up, run and pass with success. And all starting again with George, the quarterback, doing so much running. So it's one of those things where I think Coach Sattywhite's first thing he's going to say, listen, we got to be more under control. We can't be falling for all these fakes because that's how the quarterback's getting most of his yardage.
That's right.
He fakes the fullback, fakes to the flanker back, goes the opposite direction, has 8-9 yards of carry.
That's right, and it's been sort of those simple plays for Boston Latin that have helped them sustain those drives here in the first half. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our halftime stats and some halftime highlights before we get going here in the third quarter from White Stadium in Jamaica Plain here on Game of the Week. Make sure you stick around.
I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe! Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
I am what hunger looks like in America.
I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Yeah, I got
My
you.
son Andrew was always a joy to be around. I always taught him to be accepting of other people.
I'm not
That's
coming
why
over
when
program,
Andrew
am
was
I?
suddenly fired from his teaching job for being gay, my heart just
Okay,
broke.
sounds pretty clear.
As a parent, how do you prepare your child for something like that? I hope we get to a place where people will be treated with respect, equality, and love.
145 over 92.
180 over 111.
I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Lowering your high blood pressure could save you from a heart attack or stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back here to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain. We're at the half here between the Boston Latin Wolfpack and the South Boston Knights. Boston Latin on top 16-6. And Alan, we saw both these teams when they did score offensively there in the first half. It was really quarterbacks getting it done.
Both quarterbacks, some somewhat different styles, but the big surprise, all the yardage and carries by quarterback George for Boston Latin. He had 19 carries in that first half, which is very high number, but he was successful. It's one of those things where if it's working, let's keep doing it. Then he was able to drop back and throw a beautiful touchdown pass to Rosencrantz. So it shows the versatility of the Boston Latin offense. For South Boston, they have quick strike ability, obviously, with Baldy, the wide receiver. I mean, he's been running deep routes pretty much the whole night. He must be tired, but he has to be excited also because he's made a couple of catches, has the only touchdown for South Boston on that nice 57-yard bomb.
That's right, and he had that big first down to set up that touchdown pass as well. Folks, we're going to take a look at the halftime stats here from White Stadium, and first up, it's going to be the South Boston Knights.
This South Boston, you talked about the quarterback, had 5 throws for 31 yards. Meanwhile, receiving Baldy pretty much has done everything. 87 yards, the 2 catches he had, and that touchdown for 57 yards. Obviously, Noxie, just the quarterback and Baldy, the only offense because they haven't run at all. They barely had the ball in the first quarter. In the second quarter, just no running success. Man, for Latin, you have 73 yards for George. Powers, the fullback, with a touchdown and 52 yards. Then receiving, of course, a touchdown for Rosencrantz and Child 1 catch. And George, again, George just doing a little bit of everything. Both sides, running and passing the ball.
So Douglas George with that huge first half there for Boston Latin. Latin School just about set to kick off. That's Douglas George. He's going to perform the kicking duties, not using a tee here for the Wolfpack. As it's Baldy and Basabi Muniz back to receive, and Buzel is just going to be there to corral the football after that low squib kick from Boston Latin. We mentioned Douglas George and how successful he was there in the first half for Boston Latin. We had a little highlight package of George here from the first half.
Yeah, the fake to the fullback, just find some room. That might have been his longest run of the first half. Again, another fake. And you have to like the way Boston Latin is mixing this up. They fakes the fullback sometimes. Other times he fakes to the flanker. This time it went into the 1-yard line. Here's the interception. I'm sorry, that's the first catch by Rosencrantz, and this is the touchdown, rather. Nice play. And Rosencrantz, like I said, he made it easy for his quarterback by giving enough room to just drop it in the bucket there.
Now on first down for South Boston from their own 33-yard line. Looked like it was Branch with the carry there on first down. And that's the first time he's seen any kind of running room.
Yeah, I was going to say, the South Boston line got off the spots that time.
Makes his way up to the 37-yard line.
I mean, if you're South Boston, you're right. It's only 16-6. I mean, even though the feel of the game is that Boston Latin's pretty much been in control, 10-point game. It's 2 scores, but still, it's a 10-point game. And South Boston definitely shown the ability to have deep passes.
Second down and 6 now after the 4-yard gain by Branch. They fake the handoff to Branch there. Now it's Anoxie over the right side, and he's going to be wrapped up after a 3-yard gain there on second down. Got a little more than I expected as they mark him down right around the 41.
Again, this looked like a design run there. As he was able to get what he could. Makes it a very makeable third down.
Yeah, third and about 2 now for South Boston. Like Southie might have gotten away with a block in the back there on that play on the edge. But you're right, Alan. They're only down 10. They put together a strong drive here to start the third quarter,
exactly
maybe even score.
That's exactly what they're thinking. Because they definitely have the weapons. It all starts with Anoxie, the quarterback. He can run and pass.
This would be a good start to the drive if they can convert this 3rd and 2 as Anoxie trying to take it over the left side.
Yep.
And does
Nice
get
finish.
past the first down marker for first down up to the 45-yard line.
You got to like that play, Pat. As a quarterback, he knew he had to get the first down, lowered his shoulder. Watch this right of your screen. You'll see him right there. Lowered his shoulder into that linebacker. Gets the first down. But they'll be going back to Baldy downfield real quick, believe me. They did it the entire second quarter. And there's no reason why they should not try that again.
Teams, when they talk about defending a team like a South Boston, they don't want to get lulled to sleep with a couple of short runs and then boom, they hit them with a big deep pass.
That's exactly what Southie's hoping they can do.
They run the end around here with Baldy, and Baldy's got nowhere to go with it. Good pursuit that time by the Wolfpack. Where Rosenkrantz getting in the backfield to make that tackle.
And this is what I love about our game so far. Like we talked about, a lot of these players playing both sides, offense and defense. Rosenkrantz, you said, coming in under control.
5-yard loss on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 15 now for South Boston Knights. So you pick up that first down, but then a tough play there in 2nd down to make it a little more difficult. Under 9 minutes left to go here in the third quarter now. South Boston looking to keep this drive alive. Anoxie rolling to his right. Looking to get rid of the football, and the pass falls incomplete.
Yeah,
as it looked like it was Damian Brown was in the area.
Yeah, that play broke down when Branch couldn't get the block. If Branch could have been able to make the block, that would have given the quarterback chance to throw the ball downfield. But good pursuit by Boston Latin again. Going to force a 3rd and very long.
So 3rd and 15 now for the South Boston Knights. The other thing, too, here with South Boston, the last time they tried to punt, they had that snap that gave up a safety.
I think they want to try to avoid that at all costs.
If they don't get the first down here, they might try to go for it on 4th down.
If they can get at least more than half, yeah. They might go for it on 4th down.
We'll see what they do here on 3rd down. 3rd and 15 now for the South Boston Knights from their own 40-yard line. Fake the handoff. It's Anoxie on the keeper.
Oh, good game.
And makes his way up to about the 49. No, they mark him down at midfield. So nice pickup. 10-yard gain.
Something to think about because, like you said, the problems with the special teams punt.
Yeah, it's going to be 4th and 5. I think they're going to go for it here. Allen Anoxie now with 8 carries for 50 yards out of the quarterback spot.
Quarterbacks leading rushes for the game.
So the Knights are going to go for it here. 4th and 5 for South Boston. Big play here in the third quarter. And we got some early movement here on the Knights.
False start on the offense.
That's going to back them up 5.
5-yard penalty.
Now, if you're Coach Sadie White, do you try to punt the football? Because it's not just the 5 yards. It's also just the momentum that you just kill.
Right, I think you got to try to punt.
And you see the left guard pulling out early. And it looks like they are going to put the football. Buzel back to kick now for South Boston. Much better punt this time. Solid end over end punt, and it's fumbled there by Boston Latin. the Wolfpack do recover right around the 36-yard line, as Matthew Chow was unable to field that
pretty
cleanly.
Dependable hands, but that time had a pop. I think it popped off his chest pad. Nice punt, little air time. Chow comes up and just has it go right through his hands, and then his helmet knocks it forward. Luckily for Boston Latin, there are no South Boston players around.
First and 10. 36-yard line.
So the Wolfpack take over at their own 36-yard line here with 7:53 left to go in the second quarter, or third quarter, excuse me.
Yeah.
Douglas George had a very good first half, including that beautiful touchdown pass to Greg Rosencrantz. Now out there for the first time here in the second half. Going down the left sideline again to Rosencrantz. That one a little too far behind him.
Oh. Must have been a little too anxious because he had the time. Rosencrantz was breaking away from the cornerback. Yeah, looks like he just rushed it a little bit. So he has plenty of time. Once he zips it out there, it's already overthrown.
Douglas George now
Right
4
play,
for
though.
7 through the air.
One-on-one
right?
coverage, yeah.
If there's a guy you trust on Boston Latin to go one-on-one, it's Greg Rosencrantz. Now on second down, Eric Power gets the carry. He makes his way up to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, Power, nice first half. Yeah, touchdown. Straight in. It seems like this defensive front for South Boston does pretty well going straight ahead, but not as well when they have to move laterally.
They do have that big defensive line up front. Try to clog the middle. 3rd and 9 now for the Boston Latin Wolfpack. And George bobbles the shotgun snap. Tries to reset. Douglas George going to try to get to the edge. Now he's going to pick it up and run, and he's shoved out of bounds right around the 42-yard line. So it'll be a 5-yard
in the
pickup.
same situation. They might decide to go for it. They've had so much success with their running.
It'll be
Good
4th and
speed
4.
by George to outrun the big tackle. Finally gets run down by Brazil.
And Boston Latin's going to punt.
Yeah, George is their punter, right? Yeah. They're gonna.
I think with a 10-point lead, it's tough to try to give it up here.
You don't want to give South Boston great field position. Give them any more life.
John Basabi Muniz back to receive for the Knights. And Coach Butler wants a timeout.
Timeout, Latin School. 6:10 left in the third quarter.
You know, Coach Butler doesn't want to give up a big play here. Punting the football. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can certainly go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. A lot of good stuff up on that Facebook page, and make sure you like us there. Check out all the links. We give you updates on which games we're going to be covering, so make sure you like us on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter @BostonCityTV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. 6:10 left to go here in the third quarter. Boston Latin on top of South Boston, 16-6. Latin Wolfpack facing a 4th and 4. And they just lined up the punt, but they might try to go for it now.
Their offense back on the field. Yeah, Coach Butler called that timeout. I don't know if he saw something in the formation for South Boston. Like you said, they don't want to give the speedy backs for South Boston a chance to break a big play. So I don't know, it's worth a chance. You're in your own side of the field, but they've had so much success with their running.
So Boston Latin will go for it here on 4th and 4. We'll see what the Wolfpack come up with, or will the South Boston Knights lock them down here on 4th down. 4th and 4 for Boston Latin.
They might just be trying to draw him off. Right? There's
George out of the shotgun over the middle. Has got Rosencrantz's bread and butter. Rosencrantz then is dragged down at the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you, Baldy, I think, saved a touchdown because he was again, good pass, good catch. There's Rosencrantz to see that. Yeah, Baldy did a good job to recover. But again, big fourth down play turns into another set of downs.
Boston Latin now in Southie territory at the 40-yard line. On first down, off the low snap, they give it to Power. And Eric Power makes his way up to the 38-yard line, 2-yard gain on the play.
2-yard gain, 38-yard line, down.
The short gain is, again, see that South Boston team doing a better job in the middle when Latin tries to go off tackle. But again, they're still getting burned by those runs to the outside.
Second down and 8 now for the Wolfpack. George off the option. Douglas George past the 35 up to the 33-yard line. Oh, extra shoving after the play.
After the play, yeah, we got a flag.
And now we do have a flag. I think it's going to be South Boston that's getting the flag here.
Joseph Keating's highly upset about something. It's hard to see because they had a big scrum at the end of the tackle. The Keating jumped up and actually he's standing up right now.
I didn't see much at the end of that play.
There's a lot of jarring going on.
Let's take a look at the tail end of the play here.
Let's see.
You see Keating in the middle.
So he's there, and I'm not sure what.
The only player down there is George. I'm not really sure what's going on there. So then he has an extra shove. Then you have Latin players getting upset that Keating was getting involved with the quarterback, and then Keating isn't having any of it.
Oh, yeah, Latin must have said something too. Yeah, both.
So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty tacked on at the end of the run.
Yeah, but he said there was dead ball on both teams.
I think he pointed twice to South Boston.
There's two of them. Wow.
Wow. So that's a 30-yard penalty. So 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on South Boston.
First and goal.
So that gives Boston Latin a first and goal inside the 10-yard line. Coach Sattywhite's probably asking why. I've never seen that. A 30-yard penalty on 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on the same team. First and goal here for Boston Latin.
It might be the same player.
Yeah, exactly.
From what we saw.
As Power gets the handoff here on first down. Now we got another South Boston player. Looks like maybe a cramp there for Branch.
Again, doing a decent job with the short yardage.
Carry 1-yard gain.
Jose Cardona on that tackle. I think you're right. Looks like a cramp, some kind of muscle issue. Well, Latin, perfect chance to really take control of this here. We got less than 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. They're already up 10. And thanks to the 30 yards and penalties on one play, they're right in scoring distance again.
Yeah, that looks like a
Branch is going to try to hop off or crawl. Well, he needs some help. Yeah, they're going to help him off.
We'll see if Branch can get back in after what looks like it to be a cramp.
Yeah, he's walking off. I think you're right.
Yeah.
just tough when they don't go away right away.
Yeah, that's a crap. Because you know, you think it's gone and then it comes right back.
Get some fluid.
2nd and goal now for Boston Latin from the 9-yard line. George off the fake. You got nowhere to go with it.
No gain on the play. The carry by Douglas George.
You see Branch trying to get a seat there if he can work on that cramp. Third and goal now for Boston Latin. They haven't gone anywhere since they've gotten inside the 10-yard line. George looking to throw over the left side. He's got Matthew Chow, who rumbles down to about the 3.
Yeah, good catch by Chow because the ball's a little behind him. That's trying to make it a 4th down and goal. Indeed, nice catch by Chow, get inside the 5-yard line.
Chow's 2nd catch of the game so far. So Boston Latin now 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. George looking to throw over the middle. And the ball falls incomplete. He was looking for Rosencrantz cutting across, but he couldn't connect with him.
Well, 2nd time we've seen South Boston, a bit of a goal line stand. They'll take over. Again, they'll be deep in their own territory.
It almost looked like Rosencrantz didn't know that ball was for him.
It does look like that. Yeah, he was slant padding in the end zone. One of their pretty common plays, but South Boston's offense.
So a turnover on downs now. It'll be 1st and 10 now for South Boston. Once again in the shadow of their own end zone at the 3-yard line. A lot of coaches, you know, with a play like this too, they'll have the quarterback do a sneak, just get a yard or two to give themselves a little more room. You see Kevin Branch, one of their top running backs,
he's
still
the top running back. I mean, there's no reason to not give him a chance to come out of the shotgun if you can see any kind of open field.
Now on 1st down, it's a quick little run there for the South Boston Knights.
It's a good game. That's Douglas.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Javon a lot here in this game so far.
Douglas on carry.
So 5-yard gain there on 1st down, 2nd down and 5 now for the South Boston Knights.
The passing formation for South Boston. Fake inside. Yeah.
Another rugby scrum that makes its way up to about the 14. That should be a 1st down.
There's 2 good runs by Douglas back to back.
Douglas on the carry. 1st down.
Yeah, winding down the 3rd quarter, South Boston just wants to get a drive going and they sort of pick their spot to try to throw it deep downfield. So they had that success with Baldy in the 1st half. Yeah, single coverage right now.
Yeah, on 1st down now it's an Oxy. Taking it himself.
Interesting. Both defenses now are being forced to key on the quarterbacks as the main runners.
All the way down to the 14-yard line.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9 now for the South Boston Knights.
Under a minute left.
I think the Knights have some pass coverage in now. They just substituted a lineman out for a linebacker. So they think they're anticipating the pass from Anoxie.
And South Boston's got to take a timeout here with 28 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Everybody's still trying to get on the same page here.
Well, we talked in the open about how they have a combination of players from 3 different schools. That's difficult in itself. Just the logistics of getting all together as often as possible, meetings and practices, regular practices. And so there's just a lot of unfamiliarity, especially with them. They've only actually played before tonight just one game. And we talked about how they had issues with getting numbers, didn't have a lot of players committing to the season, but they've done an excellent job of actually getting a full team in uniform. It's just that in the meantime, you haven't had the same amount of practice, same amount of repetitions. And that's what all coaches you talk about in terms of football. Repetition has got to be there. It's got to be there. If it's not, you have little silly things happen. Like they're going for fourth down and a makeable fourth down. You have a procedure penalty. The double unsportsmanlike.
Which is a new one for everybody.
Right.
Second down and 9 now for the South Boston Knights out of the timeout. 28 seconds left to go in the third quarter. They try to flip it over to Basabe Muniz, and he tries to find the edge. He does. Tiptoes the sideline, and Basabe Muniz is then brought down right around the 29-yard line. But
that's the first time he's gotten any kind of running room.
Talk about making something happen out of nothing.
That's going to end the third quarter.
I think he's got some turf stuck in his helmet there. So a nice run there for Basabe Muniz. It's going to be a first down for South Boston at the 28-yard line. And that is going to do it for the third quarter here on Game of the Week, as the Boston Latin Wolfpack still lead by 10. We're going to head to the fourth quarter right after these messages, folks. Do not go away.
The vaccine has helped me and has given me some sort of confidence into being back in public. Ahora puedo decir que me siento feliz de haberme vacunado. No me dolió, si eso es alguno de sus preguntas, y tampoco tuve un efecto secundario muy fuerte, nada más fue sueño. En verdad les recomiendo a todos los estudiantes que se vacunen. Es algo seguro y es algo que nos ayudará a retornar al mundo que alguna vez conocimos. So to all the students, I really recommend y'all to get vaccinated. It is something safe, and it is something that is going to help us return to the world we once knew. Thank you.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain here for Game of the Week, as the Boston Latin Wolfpack lead the South Boston Knights 16-6. Folks, next week we're coming right back here to White Stadium. 4 o'clock game between the Brighton Bengals and the Latin Academy Dragons. That'll be live Friday, October 8th at 4 p.m. So make sure you check us out on Boston City TV or at that YouTube link that we always push out on our social media pages. That should be a good game next Friday.
That could be a high-scoring game, yeah.
On first down, South Boston, it's Anoxie. Looked like it was a broken play there for the Knights. Yeah, it's 2-yard loss there for Anoxie.
Yeah, so indecision.
Second down and 12 now for the South Boston Knights. You hear Coach Sonny White at the far end of the field saying, hurry up, guys. They have been a little lackadaisical lining up for these plays. And now it's Anoxie going to keep it himself. And he's dragged down at the 33-yard line. So a 5-yard pickup there for Anoxie. It'll be 3rd and 7 now for the South Boston Knights.
This time, decide obvious quarterback run. Yeah, the entire game, they sort of had a tough time getting in and out of the huddle, getting the plays. I think it's almost like Anoxie has to tell certain guys where to go after he's called the play.
That's right. Certainly have seen that before in high school football. Now on third down, Anoxie tried to tuck it in and run, but he was wrapped up. Boston Latin School saying that they recovered a fumble.
Let's see if looks like they're going to say he's already down.
Yeah, referees are saying he's already down. So it'll be fourth down now for South Boston.
Yeah, Noxie's looks like he's out.
Here's another look at it.
Noxie on the carry.
Yeah, the elbow's down.
Ball called dead, no gain. 4th and 6.
That was Harry Chukmakian trying to say that he ripped the football away. But it's going to be fourth.
There's a little bit of a limp coming off, so fourth, they're gonna punt.
Yeah, it's gonna be 4th and 6 here for South Boston. So Buzzell back to kick. With the low snap, Buzzell just gonna try to do something with it as Buzzell is then wrapped up right around the 12-yard line.
Tell you. They've had 3 punts tonight. 2 of them have been disastrous. Started out. It wasn't that bad a snap, but it went through his hands. Right here, just trying to get any kind of yards possible. Actually, the ball came out again, but luckily he was already down.
So the Boston Latin Wolfpack will take over at the South Boston 12-yard line. Now on first down. Trips to the left. And South Boston takes a timeout here with 9:15 left to go.
This might be one of those timeouts that the coaches just want to get the players to snap back into the game. I mean, the body language for South Boston is really bad. I mean, it's been 16-6 for a long time, and yet they're sort of just walking around like it's a blowout. I mean, there is some frustration because they haven't been able to get the ball downfield. They haven't done much on the running attack. But still, it's their own mistakes are the main reason why they're down by 10 points.
Yeah, if you look at the 2 safeties, you take that off the board, it's 12-6.
Right,
and they're down by 1 score.
And in this game, 1 score is 1 play. I mean, both teams have had long scoring passes, so you have the ability to strike. So you're right that a 2 score game to a 1 score game, and any play can change it.
Would be shocked here if Boston Latin went right back to the air to Rosenkrantz. We just saw it, and they come out with the same formation. Trips to the top of your screen.
Looks
Rosenkrantz at the bottom.
Yeah. Same position he was in. He likes this right side for some reason.
First down for the Wolfpack. Now they go to Power here on first down, and Eric Power plows forward inside the 10 down to about the 6. 6-yard gain there for Power.
Yeah, good run by Power. Get off the spot quickly. Yeah.
6-yard gain on that play. 14 rushes for 60 yards now for Eric Power. 2nd and 4 now for the Wolfpack. They give it to Power again.
Yep.
That time he's gobbled up right around the line of scrimmage.
But again, Latin will gladly just take this. They know a score will just about wrap this up. They go up 3 scores, so safe plays, protect the football.
Third and 2 now for the Wolfpack. It's Douglas George trying to plow forward to get the first down, but he's stopped. So they mark him down at the 5, so it looks like it's going to be probably 4th and 1 now for Boston Latin.
Yeah, this place has been successful all game. This time you had the South Boston left side looking for it.
It's be 4th and 2 here for the Wolfpack. They got to get to the 3-yard line for a first down. Douglas George out of the shotgun, going to take it himself. Douglas George to the end zone, lost the football. Recovered by South Boston. Looked like that might have been Damian Brown who came up with the fumble recovery.
Once again, he's been doing this all game with success. Oh, the hit from behind actually knocked the ball away.
Yeah, that was popped right out.
Well, we got 7:11 to go, and South Boston can show some life here. I'm sure they'll try to go back to Omar Baldy, who had that good second quarter, I should say. A couple of passes and a touchdown.
Yeah, they can give an Oxy time and get the ball out to Baldy for sure. And Brown's been back in since having that cramp earlier in the game as well. So you have a couple of players who can carry the football also for the South Boston Knights. Out of the shotgun. They throw that same fade ball to Baldy, who makes the catch right around the 45-yard line. Make that the 47.
Oh, you know you're going to go to him. And that time he was double covered. That's right. Give the quarterback credit on that one. He threw that one where he knew his teammate would go up for it. Good job fighting for the football. Because there are two defenders back there. Second one's behind him, but. Just wondering why they really didn't try that much in the third quarter. It was, tried to force the run, and there's just nothing there.
So after the connection there between Baldy and Anoxie, it's 1st and 10 now for the South Boston Knights from the 46-yard line. Anoxie now going to try to tuck it and run. He's dragged down at the 44.
Got a flag downfield also. Might have been some defensive holding.
Baldy now has 3 catches for 124 yards.
Doesn't like the short ones, huh?
No.
everything over 30
deep.
yards.
See what the penalty is here.
Holding defense, yeah.
Defensive holding.
I think Baldy was trying to go down that sideline again.
Well, this is how South Boston's going to get back into it if they can. They get a big play. Now they have a penalty. Pick up another first down. They're now in Wolfpack territory at the 44-yard line.
Oh, Wolfpack's going to take a timeout. Try to set their defense. I mean, when you've been burned by one receiver, on long catches like that, we talked about double coverage, but sometimes even that isn't effective because you still have to cover the rest of the field, especially with a running quarterback.
Well, I think Latin School might have just made a move here. They took out Brandon Lau, I believe. He's now on the sideline rather than in the huddle. Brandon Lau is, very good receiver, but he's one of the shortest players on Boston Latin.
Well, small all around,
and he was covering Baldy on a couple of those completions. Right. So you wonder if Latin School's now going to put in a taller defensive back to try to cover Baldy.
Bigger. I mean, Lau's listed at 5'6", 120.
Yeah,
so
that might be an exaggeration too. So we'll see what kind of adjustments Latin School does make on that side. You also have Matthew Chow in there, who's about the same size as Brandon Lau.
Chow's a
kind of a carbon copy.
A robust 145.
Yeah.
But that's it. But that's the South Boston passing attack. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, Baldy has the ability to go up over defenders.
Now on first down for the South Boston Knights from the Boston Latin 43-yard line. Anoxie looking over the left side. He's got his receiver. That's Damani Pena, who makes his way up to the 33-yard line.
Yeah, something a little different. They had the slot receiver Pena. Nice little slant. Good pass.
11-yard pickup there for South Boston.
You're so concerned, if you're Latin, about with the right side.
Anoxie now over to his right side, fires it over to Baldy. And Baldy picks up just a short gain.
Yeah, good defensive play that time. Wasn't one of the few times they actually had him coming back to the ball. Everything else had been deep downfield. Yeah, you're still close to 5 minutes to go. I mean, a score, and you're talking about a tight game again.
2nd and 11 now for South Boston. Anoxie going to try to tuck it in and run. He's wrapped up for a sack in the backfield at the 38-yard line.
Good job by, good job by the Latin defense. Good coverage prevented the Anoxie from being able to even throw the ball. And then by the time he tries to run, he's going to be smothered.
5-yard loss, 3rd and 16 now for Southie. Anoxie was looking Baldy's way, going to try to get rid of it. Nowhere to go with it. That could be a grounding penalty, although he was out of the pocket.
Yeah.
And he got it past the line of scrimmage there.
Again, we talked about Lariche, the big defensive lineman for Latin. That time he chased down Anoxie as he was trying to roll to the sideline to throw the ball.
Anoxie a little slow to get up after getting knocked down once again. You see Coach Jermaine Sattywhite talking to his quarterback.
Well, they got to throw it deep anyway, so the fact is 4th and 16. It's just a matter of whether your guy is going to be able to beat the defender.
4th and 16 now for the South Boston Knights. They trail by 10 here with 4:25 left to go in the 4th quarter. Really going to have to sustain a drive here to try to come back in this one.
Yeah, got to make a call. That's going to be offside Latin. So it'll be
4th and 11 if it is on the Wolfpack.
The coach from defense.
Yeah, we're over anxious. Looks like O'Byrne. Yeah.
So this is the 5-yard penalty. Will make it 4th and 11 for South Boston. A little bit more manageable.
Yeah.
Try to pick this one up. You see Coach Butler.
Favorite receiver, the ball on the right side, wide right. No, he's offside.
Now we're going to go back to that original line of scrimmage. Baldy was ready.
He was running a deep slant, and so he knew the ball was coming to him.
5-yard penalty.
Slightly over anxious.
Well, if it means anything, he looks real quick out of that route. He's just wondering why the ball hasn't been snapped yet.
He's had a good game catching the ball. It's just that they haven't had a chance to throw it to him enough.
Actually, move Baldy now to the bottom of your screen.
That's interesting. He's going to be
on the left side.
Well, he still has single coverage.
And Oxley's going to look for him. And Baldy ran a different way on the route. And that's going to be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, Baldy went to the middle where the ball is right. Yeah.
Baldy almost ran a post route where they threw the ball towards the sideline. The turnover on downs. Latin Wolfpack will take over here with 4:18 left to go in this one. You got to think Boston Latin's going to do a lot of Eric Power and a lot of Douglas George running here on this possession.
That's all they want. 3-4 yards to carry and let the clock run out. We talked about Latin because after tonight's game, they do have their 3 games with Weston first and Newton South and Bedford before their Thanksgiving annual game with Boston English. But that, I mean, it's one of those games. I think Latin players probably feel good that they've been able to bounce back. Good running game, even though it was surprisingly the quarterback mainly. But Power has had a nice game too. So again, it's as a coach, you just don't know how is the team going to respond to what happened last week when they lost really badly to Latin Academy in front of a huge crowd. I mean, this place was packed last week.
That's right.
And so apparently they must have had a decent week of practice and good execution. But again, the surprise of the game to me is how often, especially in the first half, 19 carries by the quarterback. And those are designed runs. Fakes to the fullback, fakes to the flanker back, and did an excellent job with his running ability. So, and then, of course, he gets the touchdown pass to Rosencrantz, and complete game for the Douglas George.
We knew coming into the season, Boston Latin didn't really have a go-to running back this year. Eric Powers, just a sophomore, has not played a lot of high school football, of course, because his freshman season was just that spring season that they just had. So you're now going with your quarterback as almost your reliable running back on top of what they're doing as a signal caller.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's unusual to see a quarterback get that many carries, but in this situation, that's what's needed. Because they always want to do some running to set up their passing game. Because they, like you said before, they have like 4 reliable receivers.
Boston Latin just trying to chew up clock here late in the fourth quarter. Now under 4 minutes left to go. 2nd down and 8 for the Wolfpack. They are going to the air. Douglas George chucking it deep to Rosencrantz. Rosencrantz has got it down the sideline, and he's tripped up right around the 17.
I'm surprised at that. But then again, Rosencrantz has been able to get himself so open, probably shouldn't be surprised.
45-yard play, and George put it right on him once again.
Last dive by Pena saved the touchdown, or prevented a touchdown. We just talked about the Latin schedule for South Boston. After this one, they have Brighton, Tech Boston, and East Boston.
Coming up on 3 minutes left to go. They're going to go with Eric Power again here on 1st down. And Power still churning his feet as he makes his way up to the 10-yard line. 5-yard gain there for Power. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Wolfpack.
You see Power. Good all-around game for him. A lot of times, like we said before, he would be the decoy, would fake the handoff to him and have the quarterback run, but when he has run, he's done a good job, and he has a touchdown.
Give it to Power again. And Power makes his way down to about the 6-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 1. Now for Boston Latin, this is exactly what they want to do here. They're in position. They don't even care if they score, as long as they get the clock down to probably under a minute.
Sure. Like you said, there's no play clock on the scoreboard, so you're just estimating. Just take as much time as you can before the snap. No, and they snap over his head.
That's the worst thing that could have happened there for Boston Latin School. At least they didn't turn it over. So it'll be 4th down now for Boston Latin, under a minute to go once they run the next play.
Yeah. Looks like that was going to be a wildcat with the ball going directly to the fullback.
So South Boston calls their final timeout with 1:08 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Wolfpack now faced with a 4th and 15. I would imagine they'll just run the football here with probably power.
That's what I thought last time, but I don't know.
Right. So a 10-point lead here for Boston Latin. Unless something outrageous happens here in the last minute, they'll improve to 2-2 on the season. Certainly something they needed after, like you mentioned, now that loss last week where they just got run over by Latin Academy. Latin Academy had, I believe, over 400 yards rushing last week. And this week, you know, I don't think they've given up 100 yet.
Not even close.
Here to South Boston.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the Wolfpack will look at that and see some improvement out of the rushing defense. There you see some fans on the South Boston side. Just 47 yards rushing here tonight for South Boston. So stark contrast from Latin Academy last week.
Well, you know, week to week, as you go from opponent to opponent, you see vast differences. Talent level, skill level, experience. But I tell you, South Boston with their passing attack, they have something to build on.
They do. They're going to go to the air here as they find Rosenkrantz at the 15-yard line. But that's going to be a turnover on down, so it'll go back to South Boston here with 1:04 left to go.
Well, give South Boston a few chances to throw it downfield.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Anoxie looking for a whole lot of Omar Baldy here in the last 1:04.
Until he runs out of breath.
That's right. Well, the way he came off the spot and that
he was ready.
Start, he was ready to take it to the house. But I think you're right. I think there is something to kind of brewing here for South Boston, even though they most likely won't win this game. You know, you've got a quarterback who can run and throw it a little bit. You've got Baldy, an outside receiver. You know, we'll see if their offensive line can get a little more in sync. They certainly have some size up front in both their offensive and defensive lines.
But they have some of those guys are inexperienced.
That's right. I mean, they have some freshmen starting on the offensive line, too. So. You see Anoxie directing traffic here. 1:04 left to go in the 4th quarter. Anoxie trying to flip it over the right side. It was intercepted. Intercepted there by Matthew Chow. So Boston Latin's offense will go right back out on the field, probably just to down it a couple of times after the pick with just under a minute left to go.
Yeah, throwing a short. I'm actually surprised he was throwing a short pass. But
58 seconds left in the game.
They had miscommunication on the last time they had the ball with Baldy, but this time trying to shove a screen pass and well covered by Latin.
Latin School nails that at once. Probably have to do it one more time, and that'll take care of this last minute here at White Stadium. Wolfpack moving to 2-2 on the season. Much needed win after their loss last week to Latin Academy. The South Boston Knights will fall to 1-1 here in 2021.
That's the game.
And I think that's going to do it here at White Stadium.
Win 16-6.
Boston Latin hangs on to defeat the South Boston Knights 16-6. here at White Stadium. As I mentioned, second win of the season for the Boston Latin Wolfpack. And, you're looking at, the offense moved the ball really well today for the Boston Latin, but they didn't score touchdowns, but they were able to sustain drives. They really dominated time of possession in this game.
Oh, definitely. And they actually had 2 sustained drives, and they came up with nothing. I mean, the first one ended up with a safety to stop the scoring, but you're right. The fact that they were able to run so well, they got to feel like they bounced back.
That's right.
And on both sides of the ball, too. I mean, you have a bit of an inexperienced South Boston team overall, but again, Latin they have to be happy they accomplished what they wanted to do. They blocked well, good running out of the power, excellent running from the quarterback, and again, if that's what it takes, if the quarterback has to run 19 times and a half to get a win, then he shows he can do it.
That's right.
And then, of course, his passing, he threw a couple of beautiful passes deep downfield. Rosencrantz just have that connection. I'm sure they practice a lot together on their own.
Yeah, they must do a lot of that, pre-practice, after practice, maybe even just in the driveway a little bit between George and Rosencrantz. That connection was working really well tonight. Folks, fantastic game here from the Boston Latin Wolfpack. They win 16-6. We're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our final stats in our Game of the Week player of the game and the game-winning coach right after these words. Make sure you stick around.
I never graduated from high school. I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly.
Ready?
I am what hunger looks like in America.
I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Welcome back to White Stadium. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, the Boston Latin Wolfpack defeated the South Boston Knights 16-6. And really, we were talking about him all night. He was doing a lot of running, also threw the football really well, especially to his favorite receiver, Greg Rosenkrantz. Douglas George had a real nice game here tonight.
I was impressed with how the pounding he took by running so much. And still, like you said, threw beautiful passes. So clearly outstanding player.
No question. Douglas George, he's our player of the game tonight. He is down on the field with our sideline reporter, Jesse Mayfield Shannon, the head coach, Ray Butler. So, Jesse, take it away.
Pat, I'm here with tonight's player of the game, Boston Latin junior quarterback Douglas George, finishing with a total of 23 rushes for 84 rushing yards and 8 of 12 passing with 153 passing yards and 1 big passing touchdown. Doug, you guys are back to 500. It may not have been the prettiest win, but you guys took care of business. What was the most important thing today?
The most important thing was winning, but I think we could have won by a lot more, and we'll win by a lot more next week.
So what's the key to that? Like you said, you guys, maybe left a lot of points on the board. So what's the big secret going forward to improve on that?
I think we were on the goal line 4 times and we didn't score. So that's been kind of how it's gone the whole season, and we got to score when we get down there.
And on a day like this where, you might struggle finishing, how big is it to have a big defensive stand like your defense was doing today? A lot of big plays.
I think the defense was stopping them all day, and that's what won us the game.
A lot of big connections you've had throughout the season with Greg Rosenkrantz. He's now scored at least 1 touchdown every single game. How nice is it for you as a quarterback to have a target like him?
Well, he was always open, and he is always open. I mean, the kid today couldn't guard him, and any kid on any team hasn't been able to guard him yet, so it's going to keep going to him.
Doug, thank you so much. Congrats on the win.
No problem. Thank you.
And now we're going to bring in Boston Latin head coach Ray Butler. Coach, like Doug said, a good win, but not necessarily as many points as they could have got. What did you think of your team's performance today?
We could have played a lot better. A lot of that has to do with Southie. They had a great effort out there. They have a lot of great athletes. They're well coached. So as many things as we did wrong, they kind of helped us in that direction by playing as well as they did.
Coach, I was talking to you before the game. You said you wanted your senior co-captains, Christian, Greg, and Matt, to really step up defensively. First defensive play, Christian gets the safety, and then the last defensive play of the game, Matt gets the interception. What did you think of your senior co-captain's efforts on the defense?
They played pretty well in those 2 plays, and we kind of just got to get some more of that in between.
Absolutely. So what is the biggest thing you want your team to improve on in terms of its execution so you can get more wins and maybe, like you said, some cleaner wins going forward?
The game of football. Yep, we got to watch some film tomorrow and make a lot of improvements.
All right. No better way to win the game of football than by playing the game of football right.
Yep, thank you.
Coach, thank you so much. Congrats on the win. Pat, back to you.
Thanks so much, Jesse. Coach Butler winning his 2nd game of the season. The Latin school football team now gets off the schneid of losing a couple of times in a row here in Game of the Week. They get to win the 3rd one. Yeah. So we're not the bad luck that we thought we were for Boston Latin Wolfpack.
They improved their TV record, right?
That's right. Their TV record just climbs up just a little bit. Folks, we're going to take a look at the final stats here from White Stadium before we sign off. And first up, it's going to be the South Boston Knights.
Yeah, for South, Anoxie, the quarterback, rushing, he had 50 yards for 13 carries. Meanwhile, Douglas, 11 yards on 2. Receiving, Baldy, really good game. 124 yards on 4 catches and the only touchdown for South Boston. Pena had 1 for 11. Like we mentioned, Anoxie, most of the offense. I mean, his running and his passing, the passing, that's something that they can work on, and they have something to build on. So they really shouldn't be hanging their heads. I mean, they made some mistakes. They allowed Latin to control the ball at the ground game, but South Boston has something to look forward to.
Let's take a look at the Boston Latin final stats.
Yeah, for Latin, again, George, 23 carries, 84 yards for a quarterback. That's a
23 carries.
I was going to say, it's an unusual stat for any quarterback. Powell, the fullback, good job, 18 carries, 74 yards and a touchdown. Rosenkrantz, the all-around guy, 6 catches, 144 yards and a touchdown. Child, couple for 9 yards. So George with 8 for 12, 153 yards, and threw that touchdown to Rosenkrantz.
Boy, Rosenkrantz could have been the player of the game, too, with that stat line.
And he made some defensive plays. You're right.
That's right. So he had a nice game as well. So Boston Latin Wolfpack improved to 2-2 on the season. Folks, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Game of the Week. If you want to watch this game again, well, the first thing you can do is go to our city website. Go to boston.gov/cable. You scroll to the bottom of the screen. You click on Game of the Week. It'll route you to our video library. All the games from this season are up on that site. You can also go to our social media pages. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. Check out that site. We have links to all the games. We have updates on which games we're going to be covering, some different videos there as well that you can check out. So make sure you visit us on Facebook. And finally, you can follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. I want to thank you again for joining us here from White Stadium. We're going to be right back here next Friday afternoon. It's a 4 p.m. game, so you have a chance to tune in. Latin Academy taking on Brighton. But for right now, I'm going to say so long from White Stadium in Jamaica Plain. We'll see you next time here on Game of the Week. Take care, everybody.